All right, ozone versus salt. What's the deal? Let's talk about it. There's been a lot of talk about, is ozone better? Is salt better? What's the difference? We're going to talk about it today, and hopefully you can figure it out for yourself. So there's lots of different ways to sanitize your hot tub. The two most popular ones are ozone and saltwater. Those are the two that most people are using these days for both pool and hot tub. Today we're going to be specifically talking about hot tubs. All right, so first let's talk about ozone. What is ozone? How is it created? Ozone is created from this little box that's installed inside your cabinet. It's a little device that plugs into your board and essentially creates ozone, or O3. What that does is it injects into the water, which helps sanitize the spa in a more natural way, cuts down the amount of chlorine that you have to use in the hot tub. All right, so the whole idea behind both of these systems, but specifically talking about ozone still, is to use the least amount of chemicals in the hot tub as possible. So when it comes to sanitizing the hot tub, it needs to be supplemented a little bit. So we recommend using what's called an AG Plus, or a mineral sanitizer, in the hot tub. And this will do about 95 in conjunction with the ozone. So about 95% of the sanitizing will be done by that. You still have to use a little bit of chlorine just to make sure that that last little 5% is kind of keeping up on that. One last thing about ozone, you're still going to have to balance your pH. You're still going to have to use your shock. And like I said before, you're still going to want to use your chlorine just to keep that water nice and clean and also keep your spa safe. Okay, we're going to talk about salt now. It's a pretty awesome system, so let's break it down. Basically what it is it's producing chlorine from salt. It goes through this crazy process that converts it, and it basically just automates the chlorination of your water. All right, so you're probably thinking to yourself, Ezra, if it's making chlorine and I'm putting chlorine in for ozone, why do I care? Well, here's the deal. The chlorine that's being produced from the salt system, it's much more natural. It's the most pure form of chlorine that you could possibly have in your water, versus the type that you're going to be putting with the ozone system, that's sitting on a shelf. It's got shelf stabilizers in it. It's got preservatives, different chemicals that keep it in that state. So that's the main difference, is it's just going to be more natural and much more gentle on your skin. The only time you're really going to need to add chlorine to your salt system is A, on startup. B is when you're having extreme use, lots of people in the hot tub, or you find that you or your family is using it more frequently. Or if you've just been a little bit lackadaisical with watching the system, checking your chlorine levels, and you just need to have a little bit of adjustment. So you need to bring that chlorine level up a little bit. A couple final points on the salt system. You don't necessarily have to use shock in your saltwater hot tub. It's got a slow drip of chlorine that's constantly being added to the water, and that's technically a shock. So it is keeping that water sufficiently clean. Only other thing is you still have to, balance your pH. You still want to have that level in a safe level for your skin in the hot tub so that you have the best experience. All right, now let's talk about the meat and potatoes. Which one's better, salt or ozone? Let's talk about ozone first. Here's the main bullet points. So you're still going to have to add chlorine. With both of them, you're still going to have to do your pH adjustment. You have to add shock, but it does help cut down on the amount of chemicals and chlorine you have to put in the water, because it does most of the sanitizing if you're using a mineral sanitizer. Now with salt, it's much more gentle. So I know, at least when I've used it, much more nice on the skin, much less irritation on the skin. It produces chlorine for you, so you don't have to manually add it. You still have to do your pH adjustment. You don't have to add shock, but it is a little bit more expensive than ozone. So you have to buy the cartridges and a few other things to help maintain that system. So if you're looking for a more economical option, you might choose one or the other. It's kind of your choice, but I know us here at Hot Water Productions, at least us that own hot tubs, we use the salt system because it's much more enjoyable. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoy watching our content. And let me know what you think. Which one do you think is better, ozone or salt?